So hey guys, we all know that if you have a wiper and you want to delete it, all you need is one of these plugs here. But what if you don't have a wiper and you want one? Well, I'm going to show you how to swap one on. So alright, here's one of my parts cars, and it has a great looking hatch on it, and it has a wiper on it. So what I want to do here is just swap this hatch onto the other car. There are several reasons for this. The main reason here is that you can see here that it has two screws and it has this threaded bracket. My hatch doesn't have this, so no matter what I did, I would have to modify it in some way, and it's not going to look factory. So I think the best bet here, for me anyway, is to just swap the entire hatch over. And here's something else to look at. You can see that there are two wires there. One is for the third brake light in the hatch, and the other one runs all the way back to the wiper motor. Now, of course, you can just run the wires down this tube and then put a motor in there, but for me that's not going to be factory looking enough. So again, these are just two reasons why I'm just going to swap this hatch over, and it would be easier for me. So next you'll need the switch and the wiring from the interior, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So once you pulled your wiring out from the console there, you'll find that it's held onto the wiring harness under here by two zip ties, and you'll just need to clip them out of the way and trace it back behind the fuse box here. And I found it's easier to remove the fuse box. Now I don't know if you can see that, but there you go, right there. I'll try and circle that on the screen. A little ground there, and you will unplug the brown wire from that. Then there are going to be two green wires, and they're going to have two separate connections. So once you have the ground unplugged, you're going to find your first connector here that looks like this, and you can just simply unplug these and plug them right into the car you're transferring your wiper hatch to. And here's the other connector. Again, you just unplug it, and then your complete wiring harness is free. So, alright guys, here's a look at our wiring harness for our rear wiper. This part down here, of course, connects to the switch itself, and this is what we just unplugged from under the dash. We have two green wires with this white plug on it, and we have two green wires with the spade connector, and then our ground. Alright, you'll need to remove this cover, and you just remove that screw there, and then you can remove it, and then we can have a peek behind the glove box. Now what we're looking for is this right here with the green wire, and this one here. You can see they're not too hard to track down, so we just need that one and that one, and then we're going to plug the ground wire into that ring up on the firewall there, and that's it. So alright, I have my wires plugged in now, and it's not too bad of a job, and I have them routed just like the factory wiring was. And I'm going to cut these zip ties off and then add my own, and hopefully all this will look stock when I'm finished. So alright, there are my new zip ties, and everything is routed just like it was from the factory. I don't think that anyone would be able to tell that this wasn't a factory installation. Now that I have all the wires plugged in behind the fuse box, I needed to plug in my switch. So you've got the solid green and the brown on one side, and then you have the green with the black trace on the other, just like that, and we're ready to snap it into place. And that is it. Now I am ready to install my hatch. So alright, once you have the switch wired in, you're going to want to swap the hatches over, and what you want to do first is go ahead and unplug the wiring. You just lift the hatch here, pull back the carpeting here, and you're going to see this barrel shaped white plug, and you just unplug it and then pull the wires out. So I now have my hatch wiring unplugged, and now I'm going to go ahead and start removing the struts. So the easiest way to remove the struts is to just turn them like this, and they'll unscrew, and then you can just push them out of the way. So now I need to remove this hatch, and in order to do that I need to remove this trim on the inside, and once you do that you'll see the 2 bolts on each side that hold the hatch on. So alright, once you've removed the 7 screws, this trim piece comes straight out, and now you'll be able to see your hatch bolts right up in there. Here I am trying to get the wires out now, and you just want to remove this rubber boot and then just pull your wire out, because your new boot's going to be on the wire, so it's not going to really matter, but you want to be careful that you don't tear your leather here. Alright, so now it's unplugged and you can see that I didn't tear the leather, so now I'm ready to swap the hatches. So alright, last night I had someone help me swap the hatches over, and I got everything hooked up now, so it should be ready to go. Alright guys, you can see it's raining out here, so I've already got to enjoy my new rear wiper, and so far it's made a great addition since this car wasn't missing very many factory options. Now I thought I would recap, since I actually started this project before I started making YouTube videos, so there wasn't really a lot of footage. So anyway, what I did was I pulled this switch and the wiring from my parts car and then just plugged it in to my fuse panel here. I then unplugged the hatch and unbolted it off my parts car and then just swapped them. So this is the hatch from my parts car that has the wiper motor on it, and there you go. Now I have noticed that my 87 cars have the bracket that is threaded, so essentially you could possibly just get a motor and then make your own wiring for this, but for me, I was going to actually not do this project unless I could plug everything in and make it look factory. So there are ways around that if you don't have a donor car, but for me, I just wasn't even going to mess with it. I was actually going to stop if it required any splicing any wires. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.